The everyday clothing of a 12th century Anglo-Irish knight would be of the trousers and undertunic. Undertunics were designed with just plain colors. Would have most of the time been a white undertunic. However, those that could afford it would wear a more vibrant, colorful design. The trousers, though, would actually reach down to the knee. An overtunic would be worn for everyday occasional use. These overtunics would sometimes go as far down to the ankles, mainly to indicate of their wealth and status. Some of them had even embroidered designs along the cuffs and even edges along the said tunic design. When it came to the Anglo-Irish knight, only one of the legs was actually covered with a form of padding and male leggings, while the other was just an everyday regular legging. Reason of this is actually because of the shields, being of the kite shield design. Since the knights of the 12th century were using a kite shield, they would not need the use of another male legging to cover their other leg, that which was covered by the shield. The leggings that which were worn would also indicate of various type of designs and colors. Blue, red, and various other designs. As you see, this is the open foot design model. The footwear, as we see, also has a form of lacing on the edge of the footwear. This would help fasten the remnant of the male legging to the said foot to help protect against cutting blows. The footwear, as you also see, is also based on a multitude of designs which were uncovered in the region of the British Isles. while placing on the male leggings, one has to actually put on a said cloth belt. Or, some accounts even state even a said regular everyday leather belt could also do as well. But it was up to the user. One would also fasten the male legging to the said leg, just as they would with the everyday cloth legging. Gambeson and arming caps would be worn in order to protect the said user from weapons such as swords and various other objects. In fact, these could even help cushion the blow of a concussive weapon. The male shirt, as you see in this design, would actually be of a full sleeve, mitten, and as well attached male coif. These designs were highly used by the said medieval knights of England. It has actually been shown on some indications of artwork that actually show that male mittens were still being used even into the time of the 16th century by the Anglo-Irish knights. Some historians even argue that the said male armor that was used in the 12th century was even used all the way into the said 16th century. However, if this is true, is still little known. As you can also tell, in the male mittens, we actually have open slits to actually allow the said user to freely use his hand, as there have been various type of historical accounts of certain openings for the hand. Next, a surcoat would be worn in order to indicate of the said branch or family the knight it belongs to. A knight could easily actually wear his own surcoat, or as well, he can actually wear his family crest. Depending on his status, if he had become a noble lord, he could easily also wear his own surcoat. However, his everyday knights would have to wear the surcoat of his own. The sword would be worn on upon the sword belt design, like as we see here. The sword belt actually helps with drawing out the sword, as well to help distribute the weight of the mail to the rest of the body. The sword design at this time had started to have a rounded pommel, indicating its close ties to the mainland of England. The dagger design varied in different variations and designs. However, would always indicate of a type of dagger that was meant for mostly thrusting and piercing through said openings of male links. Some could even be used to bash in someone's skull, but it depended on how the user wanted it to be made. The helmets that were used varied from the user, as some preferred a said bowl-like helmets. Others preferred a nasal-style helm, depending on their status of wealth. The nasal helm would continue to even be used into the 13th century, mainly due to the lack of the said great helm design. However, even during the time of the great helm, this helmet was still highly used way more than the infamous pot helmet. Maces would also be used, however these did vary from user to user. Some preferred a said iron-headed mace, others preferred a bronze-headed mace. It would depend on the wealth and status of the user. These would be perfect for crushing bones underneath armor, or as well even through a helmet. Some were even outfitted with a said spike protruding from the top end, especially if the user wanted to jab into an opponent's face. Just as this weapon was used by the common foot soldier, the axe would also be used in the hands of the medieval knight. It is accounted that some of these axes even had a protruding type hammer. However, by the 13th or even the 14th century, even a spike end would start to be seen and used on the axes. The lance was a very gruesome weapon that was used by the said knights, due to their heavy cavalry being very effective on the field of battle. However, it is actually indicated that when a said knight was dismounted in battle, he would have to ditch the lance, use his sword, mace, or axe, depending on the weapons he carried with him. The 12th century kite shield was a very commonly used shield throughout the region. As it evolved from the infamous Norman-style kite shield, this type of shield was perfect for said everyday use for one-on-one fighting or even formation warfare. In fact, could also be used on the horse for everyday fighting. Would be used only in the case if a said knight chose to actually dismount from his horse. In fact, it is actually indicated that during the time of the 12th century, this was extremely rare, as Anglo-Irish knights were perfect weapons of war on their horses, managing to break the lines of Gallic Irish foot soldiers, until the time of the Gallo class in the 13th century.
Relay